What's up, Bulls Nation? It's the Bloody Horns podcast. I'm your host, Justin, here to give you the daily content. Let's talk Zach Lavine. Let's talk Chris Paul. Let's talk the Golden State Warriors. Zach Lavine made his return last night. I was impressed. I thought he came out the gate a little too much in his head. You could tell he was worried about his usage rate and playing his style of game. You could tell everything that had been being said about the team while he was gone was kind of going through his head and influencing the decisions he made, I thought at least. And then at the end of the first half, you saw that 5-point barrage to close it out by him. And in the second half, you saw him a little more comfortable, a little more aggressive. I really liked what he did on the defensive end of the ball. I thought he gave good effort there, had some good contests. So overall, I give Zach a B for last night. I'm a big fan of what he did last night. If he's going to play like that going forward, Bulls are going to have more success oftentimes than not. So that doesn't mean the trade rumors are done. I'm on the record. I think Zach Lavine finishes the season as a Chicago Bull. They reassess in the offseason. But, the Golden State Warriors, they're rumored for him. And it's tough to read. I think the Chris Paul news, the big rumor that was out was going to be Zach Lavine for Chris Paul's contract and Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, or Brandon Podds. That was the big rumor, right? And I'm in favor of Jonathan Kuminga. If you haven't heard my podcast out that I released this morning on Jonathan Kuminga getting traded to the Bulls, go listen to it now on Spotify or Apple. Big Jonathan Kuminga fan. I think there's a lot to unlock there. But for the Warriors, that trade would make a lot of sense. Chris Paul's salary, giving up one of their young guys, getting in Zach Lavine. Theoretically, Zach Lavine's skill set can fit into what Golden State does, and Golden State needs to make a change. But with this Chris Paul injury, he broke his hand, he had surgery, he's going to be out for a while now. With this injury, I think it kind of scraps those plans. Not to say that the Bulls still couldn't do it. You can trade for an injured player. This isn't NBA 2K. And 2K, if you're in a franchise mode, you try trading an injured player, it won't let you. NBA, they let you, man. If you want to waive the physical, you can do that. You can get the deal done. So the injury, the surgery, it doesn't mean that he can't be traded. It lessens the likelihood, because you've heard that AK, what they want back is somebody who can actually contribute. Chris Paul could actually contribute on this team. He's at a different stage of his career now. He's much more of a mentor, and Kobe White and him, they have a relationship. Kobe went to his camps growing up, views Chris Paul as a mentor already. Chris Paul would be a good steady enforcer. He could get Kobe off ball a little bit more, take some pressure off him. So I'm not against the trade at all. But now that he's had this surgery, I think it kind of rules him out from an AK perspective. And a lot of people, they're going to throw Klay Thompson out there in his place because the contracts line up. Both are expiring. I don't think there's any chance in hell Klay Thompson gets traded, guys. He's a Warrior for life, in my opinion. He's won 4 rings there, made multiple All-Star games. If you rank the top 5 greatest Warriors of all time, he's in that top 5. He has never made a trade request. I don't think he's getting traded. I think it would do too much damage to the goodwill of the team, too much damage to the fan base to trade him like that. Now, Mike Dunleavy, former Bulls great Mike Dunleavy, he is the GM in Golden State. He doesn't really have any ties to Klay Thompson. He didn't draft him. He didn't sign him to this extension. He's already shown a propensity to make big moves. So maybe it does happen. Maybe it's Klay Thompson and that contract, and then we're getting Kuminga or Moody or Podds, one of those guys. And that's not a half bad return for Zach Lavine. I like Jonathan Kuminga a lot. If I had to choose between Moses Moody and Brandon Podds, I can't say his last name, so I'm just going to keep calling him Brandon Podds. I would choose Brandon Podds. That dude brings a tangible skill that we need. He makes threes. He's shooting 42% this year. Moses Moody has never really wowed me as a player. I never understood that pick. But we need to get Jonathan Kuminga back in the trade. My podcast today was Alex Caruso straight up for Jonathan Kuminga. If they want to do Zach Lavine and Alex Caruso for Klay Thompson's contract and those 3 young guys, sign me up all day. I don't even need a draft pick thrown into that. Sign me up for that. I just don't think Klay Thompson gets traded. When have we seen a franchise legend get traded without demanding a trade? You've never really seen that in the NBA. I know the NBA is a ruthless, cutthroat business, but that's a different level of ruthless. That's a different level of cutthroat. Breaking up the Splash Brothers, it feels like those two are going to retire together. So this Chris Paul injury, it doesn't prevent a trade from happening. I just think it lessens the chances of Chris Paul getting traded to the Bulls. It lessens the chances of Zach Lavine getting traded to the Warriors. So like I said, if you guys haven't heard the new podcast episode yet, go check it out on Spotify or Apple. If you're not subscribing to this video, please hit that subscribe button. If you're not following on Twitter, it's @HornsBloody. Hit me with a follow. Let's talk some hoops. Bulls are back Monday night against the Hornets. Should be another win.